Ayaw natin ng mga leader ng mga bastos. Ayaw natin ng mga leader na nagmumura.
Yung mga trolls, yung mga masasamang intensyon, mga fake news kayo. Fake you.
Parang yung mga iba na naging kandidato nag-deliver lang yata ng suka nabigyan na ng certificate of candidacy.
Isa po akong proud member ng Team Suka at atin pong lalabanan ang Team Sinusuka!
Kung adjourned yung session natin, kasi dati pagka Women's Month, merong mga activities ang house di ba? Pero ngayon na adjourned, meron pa rin bang mga activities na naka-line up yung Congress?
Well, today we just had our flag raising, and I made it a point na talagang i-celebrate namin ang aming flag raising with all of the women employees and some female legislators who are members of the committee, to report on the progress in the past 3 years dito sa 19th Congress. It is actually my last year and my last term as a lawmaker. So parang naging valedictory ko na rin to. And I reported dun sa mga achievements ng ating Committee on Women and Gender Equality. Pero for the rest of the month, wala Pero sa iba't ibang ahensya ng pamahalaan, meron po tayo necessarily ang ating mga celebrations as part of Women's Month.
Follow-up lang po. How would you rate the 19th Congress's performance regarding this topic sa gender equality? Kasi meron tayong mga napasang batas, like for example, yung divorce. Pero meron ding mga hindi pa na-approve, na hindi natin sure kung may oras pa para matackle yun.
Well, divorce is a pro-women piece of legislation. Hindi yan lingid sa ating kaalaman, na maraming kababaihan na despite all best efforts, talagang nag-fail ang marriage nila, tapos very toxic na. Sometimes their physical integrity na nanganganib na rin. So we're proud to say, di ba, Kong Pao, that we passed the divorce bill here in the House of Representatives. Pero tulad ng dati, syempre naantala dun sa Senate. So what's new, right? So, so sa ibang pieces of legislation naman, yes, umaasa pa rin kami. Do you know that under the Family Code, there are 11 articles that actually give priority to the husband? Lagi yung asawang lalaki ang merong final say. Property issues, you want to sell a house, payag na yung buong pamilya, dahil kailangan to ng pamilya, yung pera. Pero pag sinabi ng husband, ayoko, siya pa rin naman susunod. Or I don't know, family decisions, magpapakasal ng anak mo 21 anyos, no? Tapos payag na yung pamilya, siguro nagdadalang tao na. Pero pag sinabi ng padre, ng father, ayaw. So there's something intrinsically unfair about these 11 articles in the Family Code. And for the longest time, kami po sa Committee on Women and Gender Equality, unanimously, lahat ng kababaihan sa House of Representatives, we want this changed. Kasi this is a remnant, a vestige of the old regime na always gives men priority over women. Akala mo naman lahat na lalaki matino. What we're asking for is just equal standing sa loob ng pamilya. So pinupush namin ito, sana mapakinggan tayo ng Rules Committee, nag-sponsorship speech, we have 6 working days left, kaya pang ipasa ito sa period of interpellation and third reading para pagdating ng 20th Congress. Hindi na niya kailangan magdaan pa sa komite. Sayang naman to Yung SOGIEC Equality Bill, medyo nahihirapan tayo dyan. But something as fundamental as yung family code, even if we ask and survey the women here, palagay nyo, di ba, tama lang naman na baguhin natin yung family code. Also, yung amendments to the Safe Spaces Act. If you remember, we wanted to hold public officials, whether appointed or elected, accountable. Kasi ang unang dapat nagsiset ng magandang halimbawa ay tayong mga public officials. Hindi naman po pwede, we require the citizenry to behave in a certain manner, pero tayong public officials exempted. I mean, that's too much. Siyempre, ayaw natin ng mga leader ng mga bastos. Ayaw natin ng mga leader na nagmumura. Ayaw natin ng mga misogynistic remarks coming from our public servants. So yun ang iniintay ko. And kami mga kababaihan dito sa House of Representatives, we're asking, what is holding us back? It's just period of interpellation. Let's talk about it. Kung may kumukontra, I'm sure we can discuss in an intelligent manner. So, yun ang inaasahan namin with the 6 days. I know, maaring suntok sa buwan, pero hindi. May glimmer of hope pa rin. If there's a will, there's a way.
Ma'am, sorry, just last. Ano pong specific House Bill yung para sa amendments ng Family Code?
Amendments in the Family Code, it's called the Fundamental Equality for men and women under the Family Code. I don't know yung exact number, and then we'll provide you later. And then yung sa Amendment to the Safe Spaces Act, nandiyan din. Also the amendments to the EVAUC. Usong-uso ngayon, pinag-uusapan natin yung fake news. So do you know that most of the victims of online scams, fake news, slut shaming are women and minors? So that has to be reflected in our anti-VAUC laws. So tanong, why can't we approve it here in the lower house? I have always known the House of Representatives under the leadership of Speaker Martin Romualdez to be a progressive one. Nakaya nga natin yung divorce eh. Diba? Dapat nga patunayan natin. We're not just a bunch of dinosaurs clinging on to the old ancient regime of patriarchy. Mga advanced thinkers tayo. Di ba, Kong Pao? Talaga ba, ha? You believe? So, naniniwala ko kay Kong Pao. Ha? And yun ang aking prayer, yun ang aking hope.
Thank you, Gab. Next, Mela Lismoras from PTV4.
Hi, good morning, Kongs. Follow up lang po dun sa kay Gab kasi nalatag nga ni Kong Geraldine yung mga gusto pa nating isulong. Balikan lang po natin yung achievements bukod sa divorce. Ano po yung mga naging achievements ng 19th Congress when it comes to women empowerment po?
Well, we also tried to approve a bill that will encourage women to be in positions of power. Pansinin nyo, pag meron kang women leader, there is normally peace in that area, in that zone, in that territory. You know what? I don't know if you agree with me, Kong Paolo. Ang mga babae, lalo na mga nanay, may hugot eh. Ayaw nila ng conflict. Gusto nila peace, katahimikan, for progress, for their children. So we want to encourage more women participating in politics through an incentive program, no? We would require political parties to have at least 40% of their list to include women. And I know it may sound na parang it goes against the spirit of meritocracy. Dapat pagalingan lang yan. But we have to face the fact na hindi level, hindi patas ang playing ground. So somehow you have to give parang tawag dito, positive affirmation. That system, when you give a quota, affirmative action, no? Para medyo level and playing field. Tapos when you reach your goal already, maybe we can do away with that law. We can repeal that law already. So that's one. Another is also, we came out with a manual and we distributed it among members of the House, how to be a gender-responsive legislator. Alam nyo, meron din kaming panukalang batas. In times of natural calamities, crises, like yung nakaraang COVID pandemic, the protocols were male-centered eh. Binababa ang mga ayuda sa mga padre de familia. And in my experience, pasintabi lang po sa mga kalalakihan. Hindi po yung pera na yun napunta necessarily doon sa dapat puntahan niya, like pagkain. Pero kung dinaan natin yan sa mga kababaihan, because the fact of the matter is that calamities, whether natural or man-made, disasters, affect men and women differently. So we have to have gender-responsive legislation. And that is what we approved also in the committee. But then again, we're waiting, for it to be discussed on the floor. Ano pa ba ang mga napasa natin? The Secretariat of the House came up with this manual, Gender Fair Language. Di ba ayaw nga natin yung using the term bakla and equate it with being a coward or duwag. Recently, Kong Pao, alam niyo din sa committee ng yung TRICOM natin, no? Where we're investigating yung use ng fake news. Nabash ako kasi with all due respect to my colleague, Kong Ace Barbers, talaga naman sobrang personal yung banat sa kanya yung isang vlogger. Napaka below the belt, pati familia, no? So sa galit niya na he blurted out, yun na nga, the word bakla. And I call this attention, no? And protocol would have it within the House. Now that after the committee hearing, I had this one-on-one discussion with Kong Ace Barbers. He apologized and he fully realized what he did and that he did not mean it. Some were, some bashers might say, bakit naman kinall out mo si VP Sara? Well, there's a big difference. VP Sara is a known LGBT rights advocate, and I have to give it to her, which means that she has more responsibility and more knowledge. And that, cannot be used as an excuse for using the term bakla to demean people or to refer to mean duwag or cowardly, no? So, si Kong Ace Barbers naman, hindi naman siya declared na LGBT rights advocate, although I know in his district, mahal na mahal siya ng LGBT community. So, yun po ang naging diferensya. I was bashed for that, but I have a perfectly logical explanation. Ganun talaga kami sa house. Pag meron kami may issues, we discuss it among ourselves first. And then, apologies are said, and ayos na lahat.
Opo. Speaking of fake news lang din, isa rin to sa mga tinututukan ng TRICOM nga and even ni Kong Pao. Meron lang isang vlog po si President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. nitong weekend at nagbabala siya sa mga tao against fake news. May sinabi siya, kakambal na rin ng kampanya ang mga intriga at batuhang putik na tinatawag na fake news. Kaliwat kanan na rin yan. Sabi nga natin, ang bagong Pilipino ay marunong kumilatis sa tama at maling impormasyon. Kaya ngayon, laganap na naman ang fake news at disinformation. Dapat extra ingat po tayo sa mga nababasa natin online. Ano pong masasabi niyo po rito? Given na yun nga tuloy-tuloy din yung rin yung mga pagdinig di camera about fake news.
Before ako mag-react doon, no, gusto ko lang dagdagan yung statement ni Kong Geraldine. Kasi nakita natin sa 19th Congress na actually hindi nga spotlight lang eh. Naging highlight po ang kababaihan sa 19th Congress with the likes of Kong Geraldine, sila Kong Jinky, sila Kong Migs Nograles, sila Kong Pami, sila Kong Mika, yung mga bagong young guns na nandyan. Kung titignan mo yung not only with the way they interpolate, the way they handle the media, yung mga sound bites nila, and the number of minutes that they have been in the spotlight, talagang binigyan nila ng kaukulang boses yung kababaihan. Kumbaga, sila nga yung sikat na sikat during the 19th Congress eh. Mas malayong masasabi ko na talagang sila yung bida sa 19th Congress. Not only with the majority, but also with the minority. Alam naman po natin. And to answer your question, matagal na pong ginagawa ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yan, even when he was campaigning for Vice President, pati nung tumatakbo siyang presidente hanggang ngayon, talagang sa mga vlogs niya may mga fact-checking siya na ginagawa. Halos every 2 days siya nagvo-vlog dati. May fact-checking na pong ganyan. And yun nga, very clear po yung stand natin kasi we are all potential victims of fake news, not only as politicians, public servants. Si Kong Geraldine, I'm sure meron din yan. Ako, ang dami. Pero ang maganda po is, aware naman po yung tao talaga eh. Minsan, gusto lang ng tao na may nakikita, gusto lang may tao na napapanood. Pero alam po nila mag-discern kung ano po yung fake news saka yung katotohanan. So, again, on the side of sa katotohanan, kailangan po mas maging mapanuri po tayo sa mga nakikita natin online. Nandun naman po karamihan ng fake news eh. Kasi sa ground, hindi fake news ang tawag doon, chismis. So maraming forms po ang fake news. Kailangan lang po talaga tignan nating maigi and i-continue yung kampanya na to. I think the campaign should also start in the grassroots level, kahit na mga bata pa, kasi kahit grade school level, kahit sa school level, sa government, sa offices, it should start there already as early as siguro grades, yun nga, grassroots, grade school level. Kasi nagiging ano yan nagiging issue, nagkakaroon ng issues of mental health, bullying, yung mga ganyan. And no one is safe from fake news. Lahat tayo ay magiging potential victim yan. Yun lang po.
May I add, fake news doesn't only affect us politicians. Baka kalain nyo kami lang ang umaangal o nabibiktima ng fake news. It affects all Filipinos. Women, especially mga minors, the youth, the future generation. Isipin nyo yung proseso na pinagdadaanan ng fake news. It is created, we call it malinformation, with a malicious intent to distort reality, to distort the truth. If you raise a generation that believes a lie, a falsehood, how can you create a stable future for our country? So, importante dito ang critical thinking. Si President Bongbong Marcos is a padre de familia. I'm sure, of course, his children are grown up. I guess he must have taught them already, sina Kong Sandra, to practice critical thinking, maging mapanuri. So dito po sa TRICOM, we're investigating, and I've listened, and actually I'm participating in the committee hearings. We listen to the different stakeholders, from advertisers to journalists to vloggers to people who handle PR and political strategy, and we gain a lot from their experience. Kaya nga lang kulang kasi yung ibang vloggers na imbitahan namin sa TRICOM ay hindi po nagsisidalo. Parang medyo napraning, Kong Paolo, na pinangunahan nila ang pakay ng komite. Ang pakay ng komite is to listen kung ano ba talaga ang problema and to find solutions. In fact, in the last TRICOM committee, I came up with a legislative measure, which is the creation of a digital Council of the Philippines. Kong Pao, I am a journalist myself. Ayoko ng binobosalan ako. Ayoko ng censorship. Ayoko ng government control. Kaya ang aking minungkahi sa nakarang komite is the creation of a council among peers. Imagine this council. Meron tayong association and groups of content creators. Siyempre, may registry dyan, yung matitino. Meron tayong mga digital advertisers. Meron tayong mga PR firms. Lahat ng stakeholders. Of course, dapat may representation ng DICT. Meron din NBI kasi kailangan may konting ngipin, ano? Meron tayong representatives from the different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, X, what have you. And then this group will come up with their own code of ethics and standards. That has to be followed. Ito rin ang magiging tampulan ng mga magrereklamo na nabibiktima ng fake news. Tapos, they will fact check. Do they have the technical means? Yes, I've interviewed journalists and content creators and AI groups nga pa rin. Kasama dyan sa council na yan. They have the technical means to find out within 48 hours if a piece of content is true or false. Now, ano gagawin natin once found to be false or if a flag ngayon ito? And by law, we will require the social media platforms to flag these the pieces of news or content as fake. Para at least alam ng taong bayan. Nakikita nyo minsan doon sa FB, merong parang annotation, ito ay hindi makatotohanan o kulang, hindi balansadong piece of information. So, the key is self-regulation. Because alam nyo yan, bilang media practitioners, the right to freedom of expression is sacred. It is something constitutional. So when we legislate, we always try to find the least restrictive means para wala tayong conflict. Dahil syempre, naniniwala tayo na pag merong kodigo, code of standards, code of ethics, nasusundan, binibigyan ng konting ngipin ng isang grupo na hindi naman government-controlled, ay maging effective yung pamamaraan nito para labanan ang fake news. So, Yan po ay inihain ko sa nakaraang committee hearing. Pero patuloy pa rin kami. We want a more complete picture. Sana yung ibang kumbidado na mag-attend sa aming committee will set aside their, I don't know what to call it, paranoia, and join our committee para mapakinggan sila.
Maganda kasi yung tinatakbo nung TRICOM kasi nga sabi ko nga anong statement ko before na nung nabigay sa kapangyarihan itong sa mga tao tong social media. Para kang meron kang something na so powerful na pero nung nagawa ito, parang wala siyang code of ethics nga talaga. Unlike na pag hindi mo naman sasabihin ng harap-harapan yung mga masasama saka irresponsableng sinasabi nyo o kaya fake news. Pero karamihan naman po nga, trolls sila o kaya mga hired mercenaries. Kaya nga nakakalungkot nga po kasi itong mga taong to, employment din ang hinahabol nila eh. Kailangan nila ng pera, kailangan nila ng trabaho, pero they're doing it in such a way na napaka-irresponsible na it's getting out of hand. Not only towards politicians, public servants. Ginagamit din po to. Halimbawa, may kaaway yung isang estudyante. I-fake news siya, ibubully siya, cyberbullying, itutroll siya ng mga kaaway niya to the point na ayaw nang pumasok ng bata. So talagang socio-cultural po yung problema natin na to, hindi lang po sa politika. Kaya nga nakakalungkot na ganito na po yung napuntahan. Tapos parang ang saya-saya pa ng mga ganitong tao sa ginagawa nila. Kaya sobrang nakakalungkot na it's not the real, hindi yung totoong sarili nila yung pinapakita nila dito eh. Kumbaga nakamaskara kasi sila sa social media. So yung mga trolls, yung mga masasamang intention, mga fake news kayo. Fake you.
Yun na nga eh. Tama si Paolo. It is precisely ang kakulangan ng mga patakaran na sinasamantala nitong mga trolls. So, sinasamantala nila yung anonymity para sabihin kung ano yung gusto nilang sabihin. And usually, pinabayaran sila. They're paid to say things that are false and unfair. They target, hindi lang kami mga politiko, businessmen. Di ba hindi nakikita? Minsan si Doc Willie Ong, bigla na lang through AI, nagbebenta siya kung ano-anong mga products. Si Doc Alvin, halatang-halatang nagfa-follow ako ng mga reels, no? Pati rin si Dr. Vicky Bello, kahit hindi niya produkto binebenta. So, there are economic repercussions. Also, mga apektado rin, sabi ko nga, yung mga kabataan, ano? So, yun ang gusto namin sa TRICOM. Maghanap ng patakaran. And hopefully, it will come from the practitioners themselves, the stakeholders themselves. Doon tayo papasok with the registry of content creators. Pag may registry ka, kung meron kang several accounts, i-register mo yan. Pangatawanan mo, bigyan mo ng pangalan. O kahit meron kang nom de plume o yung pseudonym, dapat registered. Para hindi naman yung Diyos ko Lord, parang wild, wild west ang ating social media. You know, malungkot kung Paolo, ang ganda-ganda sana ng purpose ng social media. Marami natutulungan, it links people. Nagiging venue pa ito para maiparating sa aming mga public servants ang pangangailangan ng taong bayan. Mga reklamo which are valid. Pero dapat, kung magre-reklamo ka, yung fair naman. Backed by facts, may supporting evidence, at hindi naman irresponsable, no? So, ito po ang pakay namin, magkaroon tayo ng mga patakaran.